Hello! I know it's been quite some time since I did my most recent guide. It was actually in the beta of Shadowlands, and quite a bit have changed. Quite a few talents have gotten changed that I would, in my recent guide, say that maybe this is not what you should pick, but now it's a clear option. So I'm gonna be going through pretty much every single talent and explain why I think this is the right choice and why I think this is not the right choice. And also go through a little bit just basic stuff, how you heal, what your highest heals are coming from, when you want to be popping certain things, and just a basic fast Holy Paladin guide kinda. I know last time I did say I was gonna make a fast Holy Paladin guide. It ended up being like 50 minutes or so. Let's jump into it and let's start looking at the talents for Holy Paladins. I'm just gonna move my camera real quick so we can better see all of the things. I'm gonna be talking. When I talk about this guide, it is all based off my own personal opinions and my own personal experience within the game. So it might not be the exact same thing or exact same as other people would say this is the best or so. But this is what is working the best for me. And what I recommend and what I have gotten 3k rating with, which I currently am. Let's go ahead and look at the first talent here. And also one thing that I forgot to say, that this is pure out of PvP perspective and arena perspective, so to say. So this have nothing to do with PvE. I do not recommend you to go these talents for raid or for RBG even or for Mythic Plus. That is not what I am doing. I am playing arenas. I'm playing 2v2 and I'm playing 3v3. Okay, so let's start off with Crusader Smite. So this is a talent that when you use your Crusader Strike, it will shorten your Holy Shock with 1.5 seconds. And it is good. Like, it's not a bad talent. But the issue right now is that Paladins have gotten quite a few nerfs to their mana. So you have to actually be caring about your mana a little bit more. You have to be more aware of your mana management. And Crusader Strike is actually one of the spells that is going to cause you to go if you just sit and spam press it. Wait, now you can't see the tool thing here. Here you have Crusader Strike. Cost 900 mana. So, Holy Shock is one of the things that you're going to be pressing on CD. But having to press Crusader Strike to get value out of this talent is going to cause you to go faster. And it's also going to cause you, or it's also going to force you into a positioning that you sometimes do not want. Because this talent removes the Beacon of Fate, which is what you usually want to be, or which you want to be playing with overall. And this one will force you to want to be on top of the enemies, or have a pet after you that you can get value out of it. Because if you want to play far away and you play Crusader Strike, you're not going to have anything to be hitting that with. You're not going to be able to hit Crusader Strike on anything, which means you're basically wasting an entire talent. If you want to play super aggressive in a match where you know it will end fast, then I could recommend you to go Crusader Strike. But I still more recommend going Beacon of Fate. And Beacon of Fate is the second talent choice that you can do in the first row. And this one is, it costs a little bit of mana, not super much though. It's a 12-second CD. Begin mending the wounds of a friendly target, healing them for 4,760 after 5 seconds. This one also generates 1 holy power, so you can sometimes rely on that one. When you're lacking that last holy power, you can press this one and you know you will get it up in a couple of seconds, after 5 seconds. This one, I believe, is really good for Holy Paladins because, first of all, it does a good portion of healing, and Paladins do not have any sort of HOTS. We're not like a Resto Druid or a Resto Shaman that when we get CC'd or they get CC'd, they will still have some sort of healing, like Earth Shield, Riptide, whatever the hots are called for Resto Druids. We have 0 healing coming out from that. So I prefer Bestow Fate to be using on myself or someone else when I know there's CC coming. If I know I'm gonna get stunned up by a warrior or a rogue or something, I can pre-use Bestow Fate, and I know there will be a tiny bit of healing coming out. Not much to rely on entire go on, but it's still something. And also when you want to be a little bit aggressive, you can also press this one on yourself to first generate the holy power, and also to get a little bit of healing while you want to like go in there and do damage. Light's Hammer I don't think is worth mentioning really at all. It's not a good talent. It's never really been a good talent in PvP whatsoever. It's a 1 minute CD and you throw down a hammer and it does healing and it does damage. You can see this one a little bit as a if Ashen Hollow, the Venture ability for paladins, had a little brother, it would probably be this one. It kind of works in the same way, but it just isn't. It isn't worth using. It's really awkward to use in arena. To now move over to the second row, we have Saved by the Light, Judgment of Light, and Holy Prism. Here for me, a very clear option, or a really clear decision, is to pick Saved by the Light. Saved by the Light is a talent that we actually had back in, I believe it was in Legion. And what it does is that when an ally of your Beacon of Light is damaged below 30%, they absorb the next 8,982 damage. You cannot shield the same person this way within 1 minute. This one has really good synergy together with Beacon of Fate, which is the last talent that I will come to and talk about. But this one is really nice in both 2s and 3s, because that absorb shield is really good and you can rely on that a lot. And when you are playing Beacon of Fate, which you will do in 2s as well, you will have, it will work on both Beacon of Light and Beacon of Fate. So both of them will be able to proc this shield. And a 9k shield together with like a BM trinket and a wall can actually save you through a go or so. So this one I think just gives so much value, and the 1 minute CD of it is very short. So you will probably have it up for the next go someone is doing on you. So that one I think is a very clear pick. I think it's just really good. It have saved me so many times, and it's very easy to track whenever it's proccing, and I just think it's like very obvious to go with. Then the second thing we have in the row, it's Judgment of Light. And this one is Judgment costs the next 25 successful attacks against the target to heal the attacker for 157. This one I believe you are running in some PvE contents, but it doesn't give enough value in arena. It doesn't heal enough. It heals very, very little, so it's just not. It's honestly just not worth. If you compare it together with Saved by the Light, I think the Saved by the Light is giving you so much more value than what Judgment of Light can ever do. The absorb shield is just so much bigger than what the healing of Judgment of Light ever can be. And then Holy Prism is actually something I haven't been trying super much. I believe that you went this one a lot in VOD because it was on a different row, if I remember correctly. It doesn't generate any holy power. It's a 20-second CD, and it doesn't heal enough, and it doesn't really damage enough either. When it comes to this one, I believe that it just doesn't generate enough value to be better than what Saved by the Light is. So I still believe that Saved by the Light is just like an obvious pick here, because this one cannot really compare to the Saved by the Light, like the shield there. You do not get enough damage of it, you do not get enough healing out of it, it doesn't generate any holy power. It's just, I just don't believe it's very good for PvP at all. I don't know if you use this in any content whatsoever in the game right now. Then we come to the third row, which is here you will play all three times to times. You have first Fist of Justice. then you have Repentance, and then you have Blinding Light. All of this will work good, but it all depends on which comp you're playing with and which comp you're playing against. I think by default, this is what we call short hodge. It's the pick that you will see yourself picking the most out of the three. Repentance can be really good, but for example in twos you kind of have to communicate a little bit with your teammates. For example, if you're playing, let's say, Holy Paladin Warrior, Repentance can be really nice, but you need to communicate with your warrior and ask him, do you want rep in this comp? Because some warriors prefer to have rep in certain comps, meanwhile other warriors prefer not to have it. And what you have to be careful with when you're using rep is that it's very easily to break this one. So you have to make sure that your target is not like having dots on the healer all the time, or whoever you now want to rep, or want to cleave him or whatever, because when you go Fist of Justice, you can get your Hammer of Justice up in about 30 seconds instead of a 1 minute CD, which can be really, really good in certain comps. And when I play Holy Paladin Warrior, I do prefer to go short hodge most of the times. We see ourselves using Repentance very few times actually. But I do not think that Repentance is bad at all. It's not something that you will be like, oh, I will never pick this. It is something that you will be picked. You will see yourself picking this in certain matchups. It all depends on who you're playing with and who you're playing against. One tips that I can get is do not play rep against Resto Druids and Resto Shamans unless you're playing with someone that wants to set it up with you. Because it's worth mentioning that Shapeshift makes them immune to rep. Because it only works on humanoids, demons, undead, dragon kings, and giants. So this means when a druid is using travel form, bear form, cat form, or a resto shaman is using wolf form, they are immune to repentance. So if you're playing at a little bit higher rating or so, let's say above 2k, and you face a resto druid, he should never tank a random rep unless you have set it up with, for example, a sub rogue. Sub rogue can set those up much easier for you, but you cannot really rely on yourself to set up reps against resto druid or resto shamans. So this one, that's just worth mentioning and knowing. Blinding light, I think, can be really good in certain comps and against and with certain comps, so to say. When is a typical time when you go blinding light? Here again, I think you should communicate with your teammates when they want blinding light. I don't see myself using blinding light as much in 3s as I am in 2s. It completely depends on what comp I'm playing. If I'm playing with a comp that is, for example, with a druid or a warlock or something, you have to know that blinding light shares DR with fear. So you shouldn't have to cover with a blind when you're playing with one of these classes, for example, with a blind. I don't believe that's worth it at all. So one thing I would really like to point out regarding blinding light is the last sentence in the talent here, which says non-holy damage will break the disorient effect. And what this means, it's kind of important sometimes to know. If you are a holy paladin and you sack, and another paladin comes up and blinds you, your sack damage will not break the blind, because the sack damage is holy damage. So, yet again, my teammates is about to die. I play shit sack, as I say. I play 30% sack. The paladin comes up, or let's say I play 100% sack, just to make it easier to understand. I play 100% sack, so I take all the damage that the person I'm sacking is taking. The paladin comes up, blinds me, and I am 50% and my HP is starting to tick down really hard from the sack. The damage will not break it, the sack damage itself, since it's holy. So that's just worth knowing. And that's also why Retris right now can kill someone in blinds because most of their damage is holy. So they can blind up someone and then just use their holy damage abilities. And that's why you usually see Retries going in for a blind, then back off and start hitting, because the auto attack will break it, because that's not holy damage, but their actual abilities are holy damage. That's why it doesn't break, and that's why they do blind into Hodge. So that's just worth knowing regarding this talent, I believe. But yet again, in twos, I would play this if I take, for example, a Holy Paladin Warrior again. I would probably play Blinding Light against Resto Druids. Because Resto Druids have a lot of annoying things. They can root you and they can cast Cyclone and so on. And I don't have any kicks and my Warriors doesn't have any range things and so on. So sometimes I just want to stop like a blind or stop him from getting away or anything. And then I do use the Blinding Light because it's not that expected from them, and it's also an extra like security thing to be using instead of only having Hodge every 30 seconds. But I think in twos especially you will see yourself using Hodge the most, but the other ones they're fine. But then again, communicate with your teammate. I can't say that when you play this comp, you will always play this into it, because it all depends on how your teammates want to be playing the comp. Then let's go to the fourth row. Then we have Unbreakable Spirit, Cavalier, Rule of Law. I pretty much always play Unbreakable Spirit. I do really not like the reduction on Divine Shield and on my wall. Let me just go ahead and read this real quick. Unbreakable Spirit. Reduce the cooldown of your Divine Shield, Divine Protection and Lay on Hands by 30%. Lay on Hands doesn't matter. You cannot use it in rated arena. Same with RBG. But the Divine Shield and the Divine Protection is really nice. You see it's now 42 seconds. It's 3.5. And if I go this one, it's 5 and it's 1 minute. And that short bubble especially is really helping out, because in the current meta, as you know, it's very bursty. There's a lot of damage coming out. There is a possibility that sometimes in the opener you have to bubble to not die, and then having that shorter bubble can really help you out, because you can stall the game for 3.5 minutes without really an issue as a Holy Paladin. And you should be able to get it back. 5 minutes is quite long against certain comps. So I do usually prefer to go Unbreakable Spirit. As long as you face something that you know you will be playing against for a longer time. It won't be a 1 minute game. It will be a little bit of a longer game. Then I absolutely think that Unbreakable Spirit gives more value than the other ones. But then moving on to the next talent, Cavalier, or however you say that, not really sure. It gives Divine Steed 2 charges, and this one I see a lot of paladins actually playing as default. I do not like to play it as default. I like Unbreakable Spirit more. But when I play in 2v2 against double DPSs, I always go this one, because I do need to chase, for example, Rogue Mage. I want to have that extra mobility to be able to chase after a Rogue or after a Mage to stop them from getting the constant reese all the time. Same with if I face a Feral Hunter or anything. Then I know for a fact it's not going to be that long of the game that I'm going to be able to get my bubble up anyway. And also their Ghost isn't faster than 1 minute, so my wall being 1 minute CD instead of 42 seconds should be more than enough. Then I rather just want to stop their Ghost by being able to have enough mobility to run after them. So I do believe that this one is good sometimes, but just think a little bit like the comp that you're facing. Okay, will this be a 1 minute game? Oh, then it's more worth going double horse. It's gonna be a long game. Oh, maybe it's more value getting shorter reduction or shorter CD on my bubble, because maybe I would be able to use it 2 or 3 times that game instead of 1. Then we have Rule of Law. This one you never use in PvP. I cannot remember last time that you played this in PvP, except when you wanted to troll and you wanted to stand on like the beginning or in the starting room of the arena and your teammates were on the other side and you're standing there like hard casting. But Holy Paladins, the way that they work right now, you do not hard cast anyway. I would use this one like back in previous expansions for the range, because it's increased your range by 50%. The mastery on Paladins works the way that the closer you are to your target, the more you heal. And it's a little bit awkward going this talent for the mastery. Like, it doesn't work that well in arena overall, I would say. With just the way that mastery works on Holy Paladins. So I cannot say that I see a single time where I will be trading out a short Divine Shield or double horse for Rule of Law. That's a no-go talent for me, so to say. Then moving ahead to the 5th row, we have Divine Purpose, we have Holy Avenger, and we have Seraphim. Here for me it's a very clear decision. I go with Divine Purpose every single game and it works really well for me. And what it does is Holy Power abilities have a 15% chance to make your next Holy Power abilities free and deal 20% increased damage or healing. And why I think Divine Purpose is so good right now is because of the other talent that we're going to look into in a second, which is Awakening. Awakening gives you wings for Ward of Glory. So what this does is it gives a higher chance of you getting wings. And wings is obviously something that you do want as a Holy Paladin. Wings, we are a CD class. We want to have wings. When we have wings, no one can't really die whatsoever. So being able to have like crazy uptime on wings, I mean, that's heaven. That's why we are so good right now, because we are able to generate those instant casts. And this allows us to get even more instant cast, because we have a chance to get one for free. So let's see here, and when you get 3 holy power up, you always want to be pressing that Ward of Glory, because it's what's healed the most and it gives you a chance to get wings. And with Divine Purpose, you have a chance to get another Ward of Glory up. And just having this free healing with instants that can give you wings is just so huge. I think this one gives you so much value. Even if you don't, like you saw now, I didn't get a proc there, because there's a 15% chance that I will get a proc. But just getting it like a couple of times out of the game is so good. I really like playing Divine Purpose. I really like when I am starting to go low or I'm starting to go aggressive or something, and I'm using that Ward of Glory and I get a proc and I get another proc, and I can just sit there and top myself with free heals that are instant. I mean, for me that's the dream. That's one of the reasons why I think Holy Paladins are performing so well in the season. But then going over to Holy Adventure, this is a talent that you would always pick in BFA. This was the standard talent. You never spec out of this. But in Shadowlands they changed this talent. So this one used to be based off haste. So you used to get haste instead. And I do believe that the CD was shorter. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was actually 3 minutes CD. But it would increase your haste, and now instead it increased your holy power generation, and it's now triple for 20 seconds. I haven't tested this one too much. I have seen maybe 1 paladin out of 10 to play this one, but I just don't see it being better. Like, you get Ward of Glories, because that's what you're pressing during Holy Power. When you get 3 Holy Power, you will pretty much always be using it on Ward of Glories. And here you get a lot of free Ward of Glories during 20 seconds. But with Divine Purpose, you can get free Ward of Glories all the time. But this one is more like, okay, I know I need the healing now. Instead of, oh, I might maybe get it here. So, do you want to play a casino class? Play Divine Purpose. Do you want to more, like, know that you will be able to heal through certain things? Maybe this one is better for you. I think Divine Purpose is just better than this one. And it fits me better as well. And then we have Seraphim. I don't think Seraphim... I'm probably saying that it's wrong right now, how you pronounce it. And I'm very sorry about that. But I don't think this is bad. The actual effect of it, I do not think this actual effect is bad. What I think why you're not playing this talent, why I'm not playing this talent, is because the cost of it. It costs 3 holy power and it lasts for 15 seconds. And what this does is, first of all, you're not allowed, or you can't use Word of Glory on it. So you have to press this one, use 3 holy power. You need to generate 3 holy powers. Press this one and then generate your holy power again to get healing off for it to be like worth it. And I think it's such a slow build up that when you're already getting like damage up or you're getting healing up or whatever, the effect is already gone. And that's why I believe if this one costs mana, I would probably be using this. But since it costs 3 holy power and it just feels like it's so slow to build everything up that it just, I feel like the value of it just disappears. It doesn't become better than Divine Purpose. I think Divine Purpose just takes the win here. I just think it will, in the long term and also short term, give you more value. This one is more stacking up. And I just think it will put you in a very awkward position where you feel like you have to spend something during the time. Like you have to be aggressive or you have to do a lot of healing during the time. But it just like goes away so fast. I hope that is kind of understandable what it is that I am trying to say here. But let's go ahead and look at the 6th row here. We have Sanctified Wrath, we have Avenging Crusader, and we have Awakening. A Sanctified Wrath is something that you would pretty much always see yourself playing in BFA. This is the standard talent. Avenging Wrath lasts 20% longer and reduce the Holy Shock cooldown by 40%. This was what you played in the BFA. It's a really good talent. But they changed the way that Awakening works. And I will come to that a little bit later, why Awakening is better now. So this one gives you wings for a longer time. It's a couple of seconds longer. And it also allows your Holy Shock to be shorter. So you can press more Holy Shock so you can get the Word of Glory up faster, etc. This one worked really well together with the Ineffable Truth, Corruption in BFA. It is just overall a very good talent. You get longer wings, you get more healing because of Holy Shock being shorter. So you can get that one up faster, you can generate Holy Power and so on. It's not bad, but it's not what you're gonna be picking because of Awakening, which we will come to in a second. Then we have Avenging Crusader, also called Melee Wings. What it does is that it replaces normal wings. We usually call this normal wings and this melee wings. It replaces Avenging Wrath. It's a 2-minute CD, costs 5,000 mana. You become the ultimate Crusader of Light. Increase your Crusader Strike, Judgment and auto attack by 30%. Crusader Strike and Judgment cool down 30% faster and heal up to 3 injured allies for 250% of the damage they deal. Last 20 seconds. Melee wings for a lot of people sound like this is big damage. Like you go melee wings and you do damage. That's not really the case. Melee wings is a very awkward talent. First of all, you're gonna sacrifice a lot of your mana to be able to become a cool angel for a little bit. You are gonna be able to top people with your judgment quite easily. But why melee wings? I mentioned Crusader, becomes an awkward talent is because you need to be close to them. Then again, we are talking about Crusader Strike and Judgment. Crusader Strike forces you to be on top of the person to be able to use it. Judgment, on the other hand, you can stay far away and cast. It's a ranged attack. Meanwhile, Crusader Strike is you need to be close. And playing melee wings is basically that you have to give up your positioning to be able to do damage. And since melee wings is only up for 20 seconds, it's quite easy to deal with for the other team. They just have to CC you or run away from you, and all you can do is cast a Judgment. And that is your big healing. That is like when you're popping your CDs. There are melee wings that can be so easily kited or CC'd or anything, because you will give up your entire positioning to be able to go in there and cast Crusader Strike to be able to heal someone. This one doesn't really increase your damage that much. Like, you will still be doing more damage with normal wings. Like, I am a very aggressive paladin in 2v2, and I try a lot of different specs and builds to be able to do a lot of damage. And melee wings do not do more damage than what normal wings will do, if you look at the long run. Because of my now favorite talent, Awakening. Awakening is a passive that Word of Glory and Light of Dawn have a 15% chance to grant you Awakening Wrath for 10 seconds. Also, something that is worth mentioning on this one is that it stacks. So you get one proc, and then you can get another one on top, and then you have wings for 20 seconds. And why I believe that this one is so much better than the previous ones. So if you do go back to Sanctified Wrath, which increase your wings with, what was it, 25 seconds? Yeah, 25%. They're up for 25% longer. You will still, if you're lucky, you will still have wings up longer with Awakening than what you will with the long wings. And that is because of what it says in the first word. Word of Glory and Light of Dawn. Light of Dawn you never press in Arena. And why now this one is so good compared to BFA is because the Word of Glory part obviously wasn't there. Word of Glory is something that would go back in Shadowlands. So only Light of Dawn would be able to trigger that you would get wings. And now this one works a little bit if you remember the essence, the neck essence, Vision of Perfection, would have a chance to proc your wings. This is kind of the new Vision of Perfection, if you think about it in a way. Because, again, Light of Dawn is costing 3 holy power and heals very little. So you don't really want to be spending, like 3 holy powers is very expensive. And you do not want to be spending that on an AoE heal that heals very little if you compare it to Word of Glory. So every time you reach 3 holy power as a paladin, holy paladin, you will be pressing that Word of Glory when it needs healing to come out. And then if you go Awakening, you can get as a bonus your wings. And you can get 10 seconds wings, and you can get 20 seconds wing. You can basically get almost the entire direction of normal wings by being lucky and getting procs. Because you will press Word of Glory no matter what. So why not have a chance getting wings while you press your main healing ability? That's why I believe Awakening is the best talent right now as paladins. And I would like to point out, I think this is the reason why Holy Paladins are performing so well in the season. Because we can get our biggest CD by pressing our normal healing, or our normal healing ability, however you say. Like Word of Glory we're gonna press no matter what, and we can get wings on top of that. That's so crazy. And when you get wings, you can also use Hammer of Wrath, which generates 1 holy power. So you can basically get a free holy power when you get 3 wings by pressing the heal that you're supposed to press anyway to be able to heal someone. That's Awakening together with Divine Purpose is what I think the reason why Paladins are performing so well in the season. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the last row. And here we have Glimmer of Light, probably very familiar with that. Then we have Beacon of Fate, and then we have Beacon of Virtue. Glimmer of Light you're probably very familiar with from BFA, because it used to be an Azerite trait. Glimmer was something that you would have in your trait. You would have 1 of them in your head, chest, or shoulders because of Purge Protection. It didn't really give you, or in the beginning it did do a lot of healing, right? I can't remember exactly about the damage, but it did a lot of healing, both in PvE and PvP. But then it got nerfed with quite a bit, and then you just used 1 of them in one of your Azerite traits for Purge Protection. And what I mean with Purge Protection is that in BFA, the Divine Favor talent, the Honor talent, worked a little bit different. So it was a little bit faster cast. But this one was still your main focus to be purging and kicking. So as a Paladin, we don't really have a lot of buffs or so on us that someone can steal. So when we cast Divine Favor, it was kinda easy for anyone that could purge to get Divine Favor instantly. But if we had something else that could protect it, that would help a lot. Then they could get Glimmer instead of Divine Favor when we wanted to cast it, or even Bop, since we don't have very many buffs that you can be purging off. So that's just a little bit recap about BFA and the reason why behind we were playing a Glimmer of Light. Glimmer of Light now works pretty much the same way, but it being a talent is, I don't think, so good, because I think this is not good in PvP at all. I don't think it gives the same close of value as Beacon of Fate can do. Like, it still works the way that you can protect your Divine Favor and so on. And with the recent Divine Favor changes, I understand why you would want to protect it more. But giving up, when we come and talk to a Beacon of Fate, what you're giving up there is, I don't think it is like close to being like better or good to go compared to Beacon of Fate. And let's go over it real quick and talk about Beacon of Fate. So it marks a target as a beacon. Mark a target as a beacon, mimicking the effect of Beacon of Light. Your heals will now heal both your beacons, but a 30% reduced effectiveness. So this one, as I talked about earlier, also worked together with Saved by the Light. So when you put Beacon of Light on me, I put it on myself, and then I put Beacon of Fate on my teammate, and he goes below 30%, he will still get the benefit of the Saved by the Light. So that's really, really worth knowing. So you don't have to be constantly swapping your beacons or so on. It is fine just leaving them like that in twos. The Beacon of Fate, I think, is really nice because of that reason. And also that you can AoE heal a little bit. So I like to, when I play threes, I like to be working a lot with my beacon. I like to swap them a lot. And with that I mean, when I know that someone, or when I know there's a lot of AoE damage coming on my team, let's say I'm facing a Shadow Priest or I'm facing an Affliction Warlock or something, and everyone started to drop down, I try to keep us close and in range of each other, and then I will put beacon on 2 of them that is not maybe taking the most damage, but they're taking damage, and then I will be healing, for example, myself, and I will be able to heal myself, top myself, from taking a lot of damage, while I'm healing both of them without targeting them. So it's kind of like the AoE heal that you don't have, but now you can heal more targets without spending more mana or so. You're just doing it by having those beacons on it. And just by it being 2 beacons as well, just allows you to like top your entire team with it, which I think is really, really nice. So yeah, I will go this one in 2s and I will go it in 3s, no matter what, every game. Beacon of Virtue, it replaced Beacon of Light. Apply a Beacon of Light to your target and 3 injured allies with 30 yards for 8 seconds. All affected allies will be healed for 50% of the amount of your other healing down. The flash of light and holy light in these targets will also generate 1 holy power. I forgot to mention about that with your actual beacon targets, Beacon of Fate and Beacon of Light. Every time you heal someone with the flash of light or with holy light, you generate 1 holy power as well. So you never really have to worry about that. That you like don't get that or something because you're not Beacon of Virtue. It does work with the Beacon of Fate and Beacon of Light as well. So Beacon of Virtue, I just don't think is worth it at all in Arena. It's an AoE heal a little bit. I don't know when you play this. It does work together with Saved by the Light. So if everyone is falling below 30% and they have Beacon of Virtue on them, they will proc the Saved by the Light. But just because of the reason that is 8 seconds, that is 8 seconds up, it's too short, and it's kind of the same issue as I was talking about previously about Seraphim, that it's too short to build up stuff. You press it, and then you kind of have to be ready with like 5 holy powers to be able to get value out of it. And this is general, it's just like a PvE talent in that case, I would say, or when you're healing more than 4 people. Else I just think that Beacon of Fate is what you want to be going after. I think it gives the most value. Okay, so let's move ahead to the PvP talents. We now have 3 PvP talents. In BFA you could pick 4 kinda because of the neck essence. Which I would like to see them do, add another choice so we could have 4. Because sometimes it does feel a little bit awkward only having 3 decisions. But that's how it is. Let's just talk about what we are playing though. So these are my default PvP talents that I have on. And that this is pretty much what I would play almost every single game in 3s, or at least previously in the expansion or previously in the season when I was playing a lot of 3s. So first we have Ultimate Sacrifice that I'm going, which is basically when I say big sack, this is what I mean. Also worth noticing, this one will be getting nerfed, but you will most likely still be seeing yourself playing that against certain things. So it's kind of gonna work the same way as it already is. Alright, so 100% sack, I like to go a lot in 3s, for example. Because in 3s there's a lot of damage coming out. And also, again, sometimes you face very CC heavy comps where you're just gonna sit CC the entire time. And then you might have to like trinket sack out of something, or just sack out of a CC. And you need to give yourself time to be able to stop someone, and you can't do it instantly. And if you have 30%, then they might die through it. So this one I really play almost every single game in 3s when I know they are not gonna be focusing me. If I know that there's a comp that gonna focus me the entire game without swapping a single time, then I would not go 100% sack, because it's kind of waste, because you're not gonna use it ever. But let's just go through real quick like all the talents. Also, I would like to say against the Ultimate Sacrifice in 2s, because I didn't mention that. I almost never play 100% sack in 2s, because there's not really any class when you play against a DPS and healer that should be able to 100-0 any of your teammates during a stun or during a certain go. When I play 100% sack is mostly against casters, Destro Warlock, not Affliction. Don't play 100% sack against Affliction. Mages, all specs, and double DPS. That's the only time where I play 100% Zac. Other than that, I never play it. So let's begin with Avenging Light. This is a talent that I had a lot of fun playing in BFA, but we're no longer in BFA. And Blizzard doesn't want us to be casting anything really. So this one gives you absolutely 0 value. Because you're gonna see yourself casting very few Holy Lights during the match. And this is a talent that forces you to play aggressive. This is talent that you want to play, or you wanted to play in BFA, for example, when you wanted to be aggressive. You went in there, cast Holy Light, and you were doing damage. This one doesn't work anymore, because you can't get those Holy Lights off that fast, because you can't cast them as fast as you could in BFA. And you're just not gonna see yourself casting that many Holy Lights for this to ever give you any value. Ultimate Sacrifice, we already talked about. Darkest Before Dawn is a talent that I think is really awful in this game, and I don't understand why they haven't changed it yet, but let's talk about it. Every 5 seconds, the healing done by your next Light of Dawn is increased by 10%, stacks up 10 times. So, after 50 seconds, this one can give you okay healing. You're not gonna sit and wait 50 seconds to be able to get a big heal off, when you can already get this off with Word of Glory or Holy Shock. So don't play this. Whatever you do, it's really bad. Spreading the Word. Your allies affected by aura gain an effect after you cast Blessing of Protection or Blessing of Freedom. Blessing of Protection. Physical damage reduced by 30% for 6 seconds. Blessing of Freedom. Cleared of all movement impairing effects. This one, how do I talk about this one? This one isn't bad, but this one isn't good enough for you to ever pick it. That's the best way of me explaining this talent. It's not absolutely dog shit, but it isn't good enough to compete with the other talents that you can pick between. Don't ever pick this talent. Then we have here, also one of my favorite spells in the game right now. Blessed Hands. Your Blessing of Protection and Blessing of Freedom spells now have 1 additional charge. This is a talent that I've seen myself played almost every single game in twos. Sometimes I will play this talent against Affliction Warlocks, or Boomies, or even Elemental Shamans. But then you ask me why? Blessing of Protection does nothing. Why do you want 2 of them? It's because of the second part of this. Blessing of Freedom. Against Affliction Warlocks, you know, they have the Legendary, the Corruption Legendary, that makes you slow. That makes you think you're in Argent Dawn Goldchild and role-playing. That's not what you're supposed to do in Arena. So you want to be covering your DPS and yourself by giving yourself more freedoms. And this talent allows you to it. The Blessing of Protection it doesn't do anything. It's not why you're playing it. But then again, worth mentioning, if you are facing, let's say, a Mage Resto Druid, or an Affliction Warlock Resto Druid, or even an LA Resto Druid, Blessing of Hands is actually really good, both because of the freedom and also because you can be using Blessing of Protection as an extra trinket or CC removal. So you're playing maybe against the LA Resto Druid and you're playing with the Holy Paladin Warrior, and then the Warrior gets bashed. You bop it. He doesn't have to trinket. The bop does nothing anyway, so you can just use it to remove CC. So yeah, really good. Blessing of Hands. That's the one talent that I recommend playing almost every single game for either the bop effect or for the freedom. Really good. Gives you lots of value. It is so worth trading 100% sack for Blessed Hands. In almost every single matchup. Even some games, it is worth to change out Light's Grace. Yes, Light's Grace to Blessed Hands, because you're no longer casting those holy lights anymore like you used to. So some games you will see yourself not being able to cast a single holy light, and then you rather wanted that bop or you wanted that extra freedom or so. So it is completely fine feeling like, oh, I want Blessed Hands, but I have nothing to trade out. Trade it out for Light Scrolls. And then Divine Vision. Here we have. This one is getting removed very soon, but I will still just go through it real quick here. Increase the range of your auras by 30 yards. In addition, all allies who are affected by your auras also gain shadow resistant aura. Damage dealt from shadow damage over time and area effect spells is reduced by 15% to all allies within 70 yards. Play this against Affliction Warlock and Shadow Priest. That's the only thing that really has shadow damage that is worth using this one against. But then again, it's getting removed soon, so I'll have to make another guide basically when every changes and so come on. Then we have Cleanse the Weak, a talent I like a lot as well. It's actually reworked together with another talent, which is called Pure of Heart. But that was in Legion, I think. When you dispel an ally within your aura, all allies within your auras are dispelled of the same effect. Healing allies with your Holy Light will cleanse all diseases and poisons from the target. As you know, you're not casting Holy Light so much, so we don't really care for that last part. We're not going to be able to see ourselves getting much value out of the last part of that one. But the first part is very important and it's really good against a few classes. For example, Shadow Priest. For example, Elemental Shaman. I do not go Cleanse the Weak ever against Affliction Warlocks because I'm really scared of dispelling Affliction Warlocks. You will dispel and you like kill yourself. It's very, very scary. I don't dispel very much against them. I instead go Blessed Hands to make up for the freedom that they are just, RP walking my teammates and me. So why I believe you should go this against Elle and Shadow Priest is because both of those classes, or specs rather, have a lot of dot damage. Most of the damage are coming from dots, not necessarily Elle. Depending how you look on it. So Elemental Shaman have Flame Shock, and Flame Shock makes so you have a chance to get a proc of Lava Burst that will be instant. Don't know exactly how it works. I do not play LF, but anyways, you can get those Lava Surge for free, and we want to remove that. We do not want him to get any free Lava Burst or Lava Surge or however they're called. We do not want that. So what do? We go Cleanse the Weak and we dispel our teammates and we will dispel ourselves at the same time. So he will be putting out a Flame Shock. Maybe he will even do it if he is a Necrolord with the Necrolord ability that puts another Flame Shock on another person. And then when you Lava Burst, Lava Surge, you will cast Lava Burst on both of those targets with the Flame Shock. We want to remove that, so we will be dispelling the DPS that has the Flame Shock, and we will also dispel ourselves, which takes down a lot of his damage. So we just want to be shutting him down. So you're gonna see yourself having that dispel bottom on CD throughout pretty much the entire game against Elemental Shamans. The same with Shadow Priest. A lot of their damage is coming from their dots, and you just want to take that away. So play Cleanse the Weak against Elle and Shadow Priest. It will make your life a lot easier to heal against them. Hallowed Ground. This is actually a talent that I really liked in BFA. But now again, we are not in BFA. They actually increased the CD of Consecration with 8.7 seconds. I believe it was very short before, like 4 or something. So you can't spam use it anymore. Before you could put it down and then put it down and put it down. So when you face like a Frostmage or something, you will put it in the orb and your DPS could run. Really, really nice. I don't think Hallowed Ground is bad. I just don't think it's good enough to be picking compared to the other talents that you are going to be seeing yourself picking. You are going to be seeing yourself be swapping between about 6 max honor talents. I will talk about it in the end when I'm done with the last 2 here. And then we have Divine Favor. Divine Favor has gotten the opposite of love. It's gotten a lot of hate from Blizzard in Shadowlands actually. It's gotten changed a couple of times. For the moment, Divine Favor works this way. There's an instant cast and it is 30 seconds. Like when you use it, it's instant. It's 30 seconds CD, and what it does is your next Holy Light or Flash of Light is increased by 100%, cast 30% faster, and is unable to be interrupted. What some people have asked me regarding this talent is, but Snowmixy, I press Divine Favor and it says I'm unable to be interrupted, but someone interrupted me. How is this possible? Is this a bug? No. There is a very 100% chance that you got purged. So what you have to understand, it does say you are not able to get interrupted during Divine Favor, but you can purge it. A shaman can purge it away. A mage can spell steal it. A fellhound, the fellhunter from the warlocks, can purge it away. There's a lot of ways to purge it away. So if it's no longer on you, you no longer see this buff on you, then you can get kicked. So even Arcane Torrent can remove it. The Blood Elf Racial can remove it. So you have to be careful with this one. And you see now, this is 30% faster, both the Flash of Light and Holy Light, and it's 1.7 seconds. It's very slow. So you have to be very careful. It's very easy to be purging that away. But you still see yourself playing that a couple of games. When you face melees that can't really dispel or so, even against stuff that can dispel you, it is still a very nice heal. If you can get it off and no one purge you, then it does give you a lot of value. It is 30 seconds CD now, which is fine. But it will still be a very standard choice for you. But it is completely fine to swap it out. So let's say I face Rogue Mage. Would I play Divine Favor in Rogue Mage? I would change my talents to look like this. This is how I would look. This is how my talents would look against Rogue Mage, for example. I would still be having the Divine Favor. Why do I have the Divine Favor still? Because there's no other options. There's nothing else that is good that you can pick. I probably won't cast the Divine Favor a single time. I can maybe bait a kick or something of it, but there's nothing else here that is good enough to pick. This talent doesn't really matter. We could just have had 2 honor talents against them. That's my take on it, actually. So now I have went through every single ability, or not ability, but I went through every single talent and why I believe that you should go this and what you should go them against and what honor talents I believe you should be using. And now I'm just gonna explain a little bit how you heal as a Holy Paladin. So, I mean, it's kind of straightforward. How do you heal as a Paladin? So you can cast Holy Light. You can cast Flash of Light. You can cast Holy Light, or a Holy Shock, I mean. You can cast Light of Martyr if you're healing another person. You can cast Bestow of Fate if you are Bestow of Fate, which I personally think you should. And then when you get 3 Holy Power, you will be able to use Ward of Glory and Light of Dawn. But you always press Ward of Glory. So in Arena, in 2v2 and 2v3, you will pretty much never use Flash of Light. Flash of Light is a very expensive heal that doesn't heal enough. Even with Divine Favor, it doesn't heal enough to actually be worth it. You can sometimes have to cast a Flash of Light together with the Divine Favor, but you're pretty much never gonna see yourself just standing there spamming Flash of Light. Can I top myself? You're gonna be going very fast, and you're not really, your HP bar is not gonna be moving. So do not recommend standing there casting Flash of Light. It might happen sometime that you need one fast little heal, and they're not there yet, but they will be there soon, and you don't have Holy Light up, or you don't have Holy Shock ready, you don't have three Holy Power ready, and you do not have a Bestow ready, and there's no one close that you can generate Holy Power on with Crusader Strike, then maybe you will cast one Flash of Light, but other than that, no. Holy Light, even though it's now a very slow cast, even with procs, see, it's still 2.4. That's a change that they did, so it's no longer fast with the proc. You will still be casting that quite a bit. It's still gonna be, if there's anything you're gonna be casting, it's gonna be Holy Light. But you're not gonna see yourself casting Holy Light as much as you did in a BFA. What you are gonna be doing is you're gonna be using Holy Shock, Fist of Fate, and Word of Glory. Word of Glory being your main healing source. So whenever you want to be generating that Holy Power and be able to get that Word of Glory, because you also have that chance to get the Wings up. If I would take a lot of damage and I would have to top myself fast, I would pop Wings. I don't know how to explain it. It's so depending on what you're facing. So actually, before I explain how you heal as a Holy Paladin, like more advanced part, I'm actually gonna go through Covenant abilities and the Covenant choice, including Conduits, because I think it's easier for me to explain more advanced into how you're using your abilities. So I am a Kyrian Holy Paladin on both of my paladins. I play on Alliance and I play on Horde. I play Human and I play Blood Elf. And I have played Kyrian because I think it suits the game the best, the playstyle that I like to play, and the bursty meta right now. And why do I like Kyrian so much? First of all, we have to go in and look at the spell that you get. The Holy Paladin spell is called Divine Tool, or the Paladin. You've probably seen it when you got one-shotted by a Rhetoric Paladin. I have. But for Holy Paladins, what it does is that it casts Holy Shocks. Instantly cast Holy Shock, Avenger's Shield, or Judgment up to 5 targets within 10 yards, based on your current specialization. We obviously cast Holy Shock as a Holy Paladin. And why I believe this is so good, and this itself is why Kyrian is the best choice, is because, first of all, when you cast Divine Favor, it costs 1.5 mana, which is not that bad. It's a 1 minute CD. It heals when you cast, and it generates Holy Power, up to 5 Holy Power. So it heals you. It can like AoE heal your entire team. That's super much. Not really top anyone, but it will heal you. It will generate 5 Holy Power, which means you have a free Word of Glory after, which means you can most likely, or if you are lucky, you can get a Wing proc on top of that. And then you have 2 Holy Powers left, and then you press the Holy Shock, and you have another Word of Glory. You're basically getting 2 Word of Glory for free, with a chance of getting Wings, which is a chance of getting Wings so you can press Hammer of Wrath, which is another free Holy Power. And I think just all of those small things become so big, because you can literally top someone just from pressing Divine Tool and being lucky and get a proc of Wings or so. So just that alone I think is so good, because of the CD being short, the mana cost is not too big, and what it does for you. And if you compare it to the other ability or the other covenants, let's say Venture, there's a lot of people asking me, but why don't you go Ashen Hollow? Why don't you think Ashen Hollow is good? Ashen Hollow Paladin, or that's the ability you get from Venture, so Holy Paladin. It puts down a big pool of blood on the floor, kinda. And when you are in that, you get healing. It's you putting it out, you and your allies get healing on you. Not super much, but a little bit. And your enemies take a little bit of damage. And your Hammer of Wrath is doing a shit ton of more damage, which is really nice. But this is a 4-minute CD, and it is up for 30 seconds. And if you compare that to Divine Tool, you are nowhere close to the value, the healing value you get from Divine Tool. It is a really good to when you play twos and you just want to go in there and you just want to do the most damage you can. I think Venture is great. You can do a lot of damage. But you also have to know with Divine Tool you can do a lot of damage too. Because you can get those holy shocks on the enemies and just kill someone. You do a lot of, you can be lucky and get like, let's say 2 holy shocks on him, that is 4k each. That's 8k. Press in a 1-minute CD that will also heal you and grant you 3 holy power. So you can do like a Shield of Righteous if you want to be aggressive. I just think that when you compare those two, the Divine Tool in the long run is so much better. And also something worth mentioning about Venture, the Ashen Hollow, is that it breaks CC. So that one, I just don't think it's good. If I would like to push trees, I would absolutely not want to do it with the Venture Paladin, because I would have to be very careful with how I put stuff out and so on. I think Venture is super fine for twos if you want to have fun and you just want to do the most damage that you can. But I think overall, the Divine Tool is so much better. Kyrian is so much better. And also Divine Tool works really good in other contents such as Mythic Plus and Raid. You can still do a lot of nice healing. And also worth mentioning is the second ability that you get from Kyrian, which is the little steward, the little owl that comes and deliver potions for you. This is gonna be important for your Soulbind. He comes and brings you potions that will work in different ways depending on which Soulbind you pick. And these potions are really nice. It's like an extra health stone, depending how you use them, which I will very soon come to. So that's the reason why I pick Kyrian and why I think Kyrian is so much better than the other covenants. I'm not going to talk super much about Necrolord. Necrolord, I believe it empowers your next judgment and casts Light of Dawn at the same time. It isn't even close to the value that you get from Divine Tool. And Night Fae, it's like swap seasons. So you cast it one time and then it does a certain effect. Then you cast it another time and it has a new effect. And it's a 30-second CD for it to recharge during the new season. It's too slow and it's too boring for me. The mobility from the shapeshift will probably have been nice, but overall I don't think it's anywhere close to what Divine Tool is and what Divine Tool does for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at my Soulbinds, because I've gotten a lot of questions regarding this. What Soulbinds I play in Arena. I'm a huge fan of Mika Nikos. And this is the third guy here. Forge Lit Prime Mika Nikos. And Mika Nikos have something called Brawn. Sometimes if you ever been to my stream, you probably heard me scream, "Oh my god, Brawn spawned!" And that is the first ability in the Soulbind here. And that's basically after you use 90 damaging or healing abilities, spells and abilities, you will summon Brawn. And Brawn is this big robot guy that will come out and he will knock everyone when he comes out, and he will smash the ground and he will heal you a little bit. He doesn't really do anything, he's just very cute and it's very fun watching him run after people. But what I would like to point out about him is that he keeps you in combat, which is good and it's also really bad. He's out for 30 seconds, so if a rogue blinds you and Brawn is out, he's not going to be able to sap you off it. That's really nice. But if he's out and you want to go for a drink, too bad. You're not gonna be able to go for a drink. And Blizzard has changed something, so you can't dismiss him. You were able to remove him when he got spawned sometimes. But they have removed that now, so I actually don't know if you can and how you can remove him. So Braun is there to stay, basically. But he's fun. He's really fun. I like to play Braun. I do not think Braun is the best. I do not think Mekanikos is the best. But there are some other things in this Soulbind that is very worth mentioning and looking into. I have decided to go here, left, and I've decided to put in Ringing Clarity. Divine Tool has a 56% chance to cast 3 times extra, to cast 3 times extra times on the main target. That's really nice. Remember I was talking about if you wanted to go in and pump as a Holy Paladin? This one can help you do that. You can cast, imagine if you get this one, you cast Divine Tool and you want to kill the enemy, and then Holy Shocks proc 3 times on him, and they all do it 5k. That's 15k Juju's alone doing on someone. Really nice. Really, really good. I also with healing is obviously helping quite a bit. Can top someone and so. Really nice. I think it's really good. And then we have Forge Slit Filter that I have picked. When reduced below 35% health, your... I don't know how to say this word, but this is the potion. Pile of Serenity automatically heals you and consume a charge. Why I've decided to pick this one is because when I'm facing certain things that will do a go on me and they will get me below 30% or so, I'm basically getting a free health stone without having to do anything. That together with Saved by the Light can save me through an entire go. So I like to do this when it's something that is gonna open on me very big. If I'm facing like a sub-rogue or something, I really, really like going this one because I'm getting that extra free heal. But one thing you have to be careful about is if you're facing a priest, so he doesn't mind games you on that. Other than that, I really like playing this against like in twos against heavy bursty comp or bursty class. And then I have picked the Light's Barding. Divine Steam direction is increased by 65%. I can be on my horse a little bit longer. That's really nice. Then I have picked I don't think this matters really. Yeah, this is like pick whatever you want here. Doesn't matter. Then I have picked Shielding Words. Shielding Words is what I believe one of the best conduits for Holy Paladins. Casting Word of Glory grants you a shield that prevents damage equal to 21% of the healing done by Word of Glory. Last 10 seconds. They're instantly gonna break through this one, but it's really good. Really, really good. You're casting Word of Glory, as I have been mentioning the entire time during this little guide, is that you are spamming those Word of Glories whenever you can get Holy Power up. So you're getting a shield, you're getting a chance of a proc on wings, you're getting a chance of a free Word of Glory. Like, it just does so much. So, and it also has very good synergy together with Divine Purpose that, as I said, can have a chance to give a free proc of Word of Glory. And then I swap a lot. So you see, I have this one that I've already put down. I will swap depending on what I'm playing. So here, if I go this way, I have Echoing Blessings here. Blessing of Freedom increase the target's movement speed by 7%. Blessing of Protection and Blessing of Sacrifice reduce the target's damage taken by 7%. These effects linger for 8 seconds after the blessing ends. Pretty nice. You're using those abilities, getting a little bit extra. It's nothing like crazy or super big. It's just a little bit of extra help. But then we have down here Sparkling Drift Globe Core. When reduced below 35% health, you stun nearby enemies for 3 seconds. This effect may only occur once every 45 seconds. This one you have to be careful about because it DRs with normal stun. But this one has saved my life a couple of times as well. When you face double DPS and they are bursting you down in the beginning, let's say against a sub-rogue and a fire mage, or a survival hunter and a feral or something, and they're standing close and they're all in on you, your DPS is eased up, and then you get this 3-second stun that is so unexpected while you're stunned yourself. It's really, really nice. But you have to be careful. I don't really recommend playing it against healer comps. Just because of that, it DRs stun with your own stun and every stun in the game. So we'll be careful about this one. But also sometimes I go this way and then I go focus light. Focus light. Holy Shock's critical effect chance is increased by 7%. Also, nothing big. It's just what I thought was the best left thing that you could pick, really. Doesn't really do super much, but why not? And then we have Soul Steel Clamps. After 5 seconds standing still, incoming stunned and incapacitated directions are reduced by 30%. They last for 5 seconds once you start moving. This one is actually really nice to play around. You just have to stand still, and then, you know, a sub-rogue is going all in on you with their stuns, and you just like, hee, they are super short now. So this one can be really nice if you're playing against, like, I would play this against sub-rogue with a healer. Then this one is really nice. Just reduce that. They're so dependent on their stuns, and if you can do anything to make them shorter, might as well. Other than that, I'm a person that moves a lot, especially jump a lot in arena, so it isn't super nice for me to play around because I have to stand still, and I don't like to stand still. I like to jump around. Alright, so that's if I go Mechanicos. If I would otherwise go something else, it will be Pelagus. Pelagus is my favorite talent, or my favorite Soulbind to go, actually. And also, one thing I would like to just point out that I forgot to say actually about Braun. The stackings you see after using 90 abilities, this is only in combat, just so you know. So you cannot pre-stack them before someone opened on you, so it has to be in combat. So first we have Pelagus, and his first thing is Combat Meditation. Divine Tool increase your mastery by 350 for 10 seconds and occasionally expels sorrowful memories. Walk through sorrowful memories, extend this effect by 3%. So you get some mastery. Thank you, Pelagus. That's about it. I don't think it's crazy, but it's something. Light Sparding again. I'm picking always the same conduits. Then here, why I like Pelagus so much is because of this one. Pile of Patience. File of Serenity heals you for 35% additional health, but all of his healing is done over 10 seconds. So you're no longer using your potion as a health stone or so. Instead, it is something that it will be healing 55% of your HP over 10 seconds. And why I like this one so much is because, first of all, 55% of your HP is a lot. And it is also very nice when you want to be aggressive, but you also don't want to be spending so much time healing yourself. You just want to be able to use most of your abilities to go aggressive. You can do it by using this one, and it will tick you up, and you don't have to focus so much on casting lots of spells on yourself. And also, when you're getting, it's possible to use it while you're silent as well. So when you place like a Shadow Priest or something, you can use this while you're silent, and it will help you heal. And it's also really nice against Affliction Warlock, for example, to use this one to just slowly deal with the rot damage and just get your HP up a little bit and just help you out with your mana and stuff. I like this one super much, and I think it has I just think it works out really well in the game. And it's also when you're getting a go on yourself. So let's say you see a warrior, he wants to do a go on you. You wall it and you pre-pot, and then you're completely fine throughout the entire stun. I think this one is really, really good, and I really like to play around it. Then Shielding Words, and then I have gone this way. Doesn't matter this. Ringing Clarity, Echoing Blessings, and then this one. Using a spell or ability, reduce the magical damage taken by 1% for 6 seconds. Using another spell or ability, increase this amount by 1%. Oh. I don't really know exactly what this is. I don't really care. I don't think it has any impact of the game whatsoever, really. Oh. I go Pelagus because I love it. This one. That's why I play Pelagus a lot. I actually haven't played Clea very much. As you can see, I haven't even put in the last one here. I haven't got to try her super much, but I would like to try her a lot because I think there is a lot of potential around Clea. I just seen so much value coming out from Pelagus with the potion. But I do think Clea is actually really good, and I think Clea is absolutely something that you should be playing in Arena. I think this is a really good option, especially in trees. So we have Valiant Strikes. Your critical strike grants you stacks of Valiant Strikes up to 20. If a nearby party member drops below 50 health, you consume those stacks to heal them for 1% of maximum health per 1 second. After healing this way, you may not benefit. Wow, that's really cool. I actually haven't tried out Clea enough to like talk about her that much, but I know that she is something that you want to be playing. Shielding Words, of course, and then this one. File of Serenity renders you immune to curse, diseases, poisons, and bleed effects for 8 seconds. Really good again against anything that has dots on you. Affliction Warlock, a Shadow Priest, a Rogue. There's just so much. This one gives a lot of value too. I just preferred Pelagus over it. Then we have Echoing Blessings, and then this one is the one that I would be going with. After 5 seconds out of combat, gain a shield for 10% of your maximum health. Very nice. Then I see I have gone here with Divine to... Let's go Divine Call. Yeah, because there's nothing else that you can really go. Yeah. Divine Shield's remaining cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds when you take damage. Just make sure shield your bubble a little bit shorter. Then Divine Clarity, and then this is the one that I'm gonna pick. Your damage spells and ability have a chance to increase your target's movement speed by 45. I actually think Clea is way better than what I think. I think all of these are fine. Chance to critical strike is increased by 1% of it. Yeah, this one maybe you don't have to go. When you receive healing well above 70 or resistance repeated. I think this one is gonna work really nice in PvP. Then again, don't want to talk about it too much since I haven't tried it out. I have been playing Pelagus way more than Clea, and Mika Nikos way more than Clea. Yeah. So now I talked a little bit about Covenants and why I picked Kyrian, and now you can understand how I'm healing as well. So when someone would do a go on me or my teammates and we would all drop really low, or they would drop low or I would drop low, and I have to deal with that damage really fast, really early, I would... Why is it doing that? I would pop my wings. Then I would Divine Tool. I get 5 Holy Powers, so I would press Word of Glory into Hammer of Wrath or a Holy Shock, and then Word of Glory again. And then in between, I would also put a Beast of Fate up, use the Hammer of Wrath whenever I can, and that's kind of how I would be healing. So I would just try to get my holy power up by using Hammer of Wrath if I have wings, and have CD always on Beast of Fate and on Holy Shock. And if I have to make up for anything, if I have to make up for, like, I can't cast anything right now, I literally cannot cast a Holy Light or a Flash of Light because of whatever reason, and Holy Shock is on CD. I only missing one holy power to press Word of Glory, so I can't press that. A Beast of Fate is not about to expire into 5 seconds. Then I will help by pressing, or not that one, that was wrong. I will help by pressing Crusader Strike. But I do absolutely not want to spam in Crusader Strike because I will eventually go It's just like, when I really, like, I'm about to die if I don't get this Word of Glory off, and I need one holy power, and I cannot wait for the CD of my Holy Shock. Then I will be using it. But that's pretty much how you're healing. But when you can, you will be using that Divine Favor together with a Holy Light, and be pressing Holy Light. You won't really be spamming Flash of Light or Holy Light too much. When you see an opportunity to stand and cast Holy Light without anything affecting the game really, there's a lot of dead time, then you can do that. But other than that, I would say your main healings are Holy Shock, Word of Glory, Beast of Fate, and then if needed, Crusader Strike. And I think that is kinda it. I think I have covered all the talents and the honor talents and why I believe you should pick them. I think I've covered the covenant abilities and the Soulbind. Oh, very good thing. Legendaries. I have not covered legendaries. Let me go ahead and just talk about what legendary I am using and why I am using the legendary. I picked the Shock Barrier legendary, and I picked it on my legs. You can pick it on legs or you can pick it on shoes, and you should pick it on legs because it gives it best stats. There are more stats on it. Shock Barrier is Holy Shock protects the target with a shield of Holy Light for 18 seconds, absorbing damage equal to 20% of the Holy Shock every 6 seconds. Can protect up to 5 targets. This one gives you a little bit extra absorb when pressing Holy Shock. Why this one I think is really good overall is because, first of all, it's healing with something, or it's giving you a shield from something that you will be pressing anyway. Kind of how I was talking about the Word of Glory giving you wings, or have a chance to give you wings, and it's something that you have to press no matter what. And also, Shock Barrier has really good synergy together with Divine Tool. So, as you can see here, Holy Shock protects the target with a shield of Holy Light for 18 seconds, absorbing damage equal to 20% of the Holy Shock every 6 seconds. This one works together with Divine Tool. So when you press Divine Tool, you're casting Holy Shocks. And the Holy Shocks that you're casting from Divine Tool, the Shock Barrier will also protect. So that's why I'm playing that one. Do I think there's another choice for Legendary? Yes. Do I think there's a lot of choice? No. I think there's one more Legendary as a Holy Paladin that you can be looking into getting. And it's not a Holy Paladin Legendary, it's a Proc Paladin Legendary. And it is this one. Reign of Endless King. When you drop below 20% health, you become infused with the Guardian of the Ancient King for 4 seconds. This cannot occur again for 45 seconds. Restore hand, so you put it on. So this one, it may be a proc legendary, but it works for Holy Paladins. And what it does is that when you drop below 20%, you will become this angel for 4 seconds, and you take 50% reduced damage. So this is something that absolutely is worth looking into, and something that you can be playing when you know you are gonna be the kill target. Like say you're facing Rogue Mage Priest and you know they're gonna kill you. then you can go this one, and it will probably save your life a couple of times. Why it's also so good is because of the 50% reduction, obviously, and because it can happen every 45 seconds. That's pretty much every single time a DPS has a go. So that one I would recommend if you're someone that is struggling a lot to keep yourself alive and you see yourself getting focused every single game. This is a legendary that you can look up to. Other than that, I think Shock Barrier is a very good choice. It works in a lot of different contents. You can still play it in Mythic Plus, and you can still play it in Raid and in RBG, and it won't affect your gameplay that much. Meanwhile, this one is quite useless in Mythic Plus or Raid, unless you're gonna die somehow or so. I would absolutely recommend Shock Barrier. Other than that, I do not think you should. I don't think there's any other legendaries that you can that you should really look into crafting. So yes. I would also like to point out regarding comps. That would be the last thing that I will be talking about, I think, in this. I think the best comps in 2v2 for Holy Paladin to be pushing with is Holy Paladin Warrior, Holy Paladin Wingwalker. I think you should, if you're interested in pushing, I think you should play with one of those. And trees, haven't played super much. I got 3k this season playing Holy Paladin Shadow Priest LF. Really fun comp. I think one of the better comps right now is Holy Paladin Wingwalker Fire Mage. I think that is kind of easy to heal and really good. Haven't played it myself though, played against it a lot. But absolutely recommend looking into something like that. Also, one comp that I could recommend that I think is a good comp and also quite easy to heal is Turbo Enhancement Warrior Holy Paladin. Thank you for listening to my guide. I hope this will help you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Reach out to me on Twitch or whatever, and I will do the best I can to help you out. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you.